Hi guys, it's Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner. Today I'm going to be playing with the Peekaboo Trellis Panels, Amazing Paper Grace Die of the Month, and I'll be honest, I just decided I was going to test some of it out, but you know what? This is so pretty, I have to make something. This one, there's actually two of these little trellises. This one is the first one that has all these pretty leaves. It does not have a border, so you can have this basically just like a peekaboo on the front of your card. The same thing with this one that is a different way of the leaves. This one's got the open leaves. This one has got more of a realistic look to it. And then we've got, goes along with it, we've got a couple of flowers. I think that these are roses, but I haven't cut them out yet. So we've got the outline, the background shape, and then we've got this one that cuts out the inner pieces, and I think that is going to be lovely. And then we've got the same thing with another size. Again, I haven't tried these out yet. We've got a couple of leaves that has the background leaf shape, and then you can cut out the little panels on the inside. Again, these inside pieces here, they do not cut an outline around it, so you could basically make those into ooh, that's an idea. You can make those into individual windows too, just like what I did here with the leaves. I think that this is a fantastic set. Anyhow, there are two leaves. We've got a stem here for the flowers. We've got another stem here, and then we've got the word hugs, and it is one of those really, really fine, delicate thin line words, so that is going to be super fun. So now I need to figure out and get a basic idea of what I want to put together, and start doing a little bit more die cutting, and let's see what I make out of this. So I am lining up the inside piece into the outside piece and taping it down with some washi tape, and I'm going to go ahead and run a couple of those through my Platinum 6. I'm also going to run it through twice. One thing I do notice is that the more intricate the die, sometimes I need additional pressure. So let me take off that. Great, because so you can see it cut out the outline, and then it cut out all of the little petals in there. Cut a couple of the outline out of the pink, the lighter pink. Do the same thing on the other one. Okay, so while I was looking for my glitter paper, instead I found this foil. So the foil I think is going to look really, really pretty on here. So let me go ahead and adhere that one down. And this is just some foil cardstock from Michael's that I'm using, but I think I like that little rose. That is going to be pretty. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yes, that is going to be lovely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work on some more of my pretty roses, and then we can start assembling a card or two. I am loving this. So I cut out a bunch of the little leaves and the little hugs, and think that this looks just so pretty. Next, get out the right thing, I decided I'm going to put some pattern paper behind each of these panels. Now the panel itself is 3 inches, and the paper pack that came in the kit of the month, I decided to try out some of those, and I think these are going to be so pretty. They're 6 by 6. This is longer than 6 inches. That panel thing, that open area, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches, so it's a little bit too long. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. I don't want to really waste too much of this. I'm going to cut it down, I think, to 2.5. Is that good enough? Yes, that's a 2-inch gap there, so I'm going to go with 2.5, so it'll be wide enough. And then I'll actually cut down a little bit more. I'll cut a 2.5 piece, and then I'll see how much it covers, and then I'll cut a second piece to go a little further down. So for one of these, I'm going with this pretty pink. And you see, it's got about 1 inch down at the bottom, so it's not going to cover the whole thing. I'm going to just adhere this down with some art glitter glue. Starting off with a line across the a line across the edge on each side, and of course across here at the top, and the top part of the die cut. And just add some random bits of glue going down. Okay, so I think that's about enough, and then I'll just position this on the back. Now, it doesn't really matter what the design is. You're not going to see a whole lot of it, but you do need something behind that white. And I think this is going to look really pretty. I mean, look at that. You don't really see the design on the paper in the back, but it does give a little bit of texture. So I still need another 1 inch by 2 inch. So I'm going to cut about 1.5 inches off. So I've got a little bit extra. And then I'll just cut off a little bit from there. Cut that one again to 2.5. So this is basically all the waste, and I may use it for something else. Now I'm going to add some more glue down. Again, keeping that same line going, and around the edge here. And I think I may not have gotten, yeah, I didn't get quite enough glue going far enough down for the rest of it. So I'll make sure I get that one down. Now I can just put this part right across the edge there, and nobody is going to even notice that the pattern doesn't line up exactly perfect. We've got enough going on in the front that nobody is even going to know. Okay, so that is pretty. I'm going to do the same thing with this one with a different pattern paper. I'm going with some that is a black, so it's going to be kind of a different kind of look. And that gives a nice contrast there too. Okay, so next what I want to do, before I start adding these guys on, I need a couple card pieces. These panels are, again, 3 inches, so I'm going to do 3.5 inch slimline. And to make sure that I have the right size on my paper, number one, I've got a small paper trimmer at my desk. I do not have my big paper trimmer over here, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to cut bigger pieces, but all I need to do is just score this at 3.5, flip it, score it again at 3.5, or even better, slide it down a little bit and keep that initial score all the way, because what we're going to do is we're going to fold it in half, burnish it down, and then we're going to take that paper trimmer and just cut at that edge. So that basically all what I'm doing is I'm cutting it now again at 3.5. So this piece is big. It's going to be a 7 inch. And of course, as usual, I cut it a little bit crooked. That's perfectly fine. Just going to push it a little bit further down and take care of that little bit that is off. And now I can put that on my card base and it's going to fit perfectly. So pretty. I'm going to go ahead and do a second card base. So since this panel is just a touch more narrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it up on some foam, and that is going to give it a little bit of dimension and pull that white from white. I mean, the white on white does look nice. I like that look, but I also can get a little bit lost and doesn't show why you're doing it, you know what I mean? So let me go ahead and add some foam to the back of the panel. And you know me, I love my foam. Taking off some of the release paper, I want to make sure that I'm able to get it positioned right. It is a bit longer of a panel than my typical A2, so it's always possible I could line it up wrong. Of course, I can line things up wrong regardless, right? But this is one of the ways you can do that. Adding a little bit of liquid glue helps. That way you have a little bit extra wiggle room. So if I touch down on the side that does not have the release, well, the side that has the release paper on there, I can kind of sort of position it where I want it. Same thing on this corner. And then position it down, press everything down, and then remove those last bits of release paper. And my panel is pretty much perfect. I love how it lined up. I'm going to do the same thing on my other panel. So for all of my roses, I put a little bit of foam tape on here. Yes, I'm doubling up on my foam again. This is some thin foam tape though from Amazon. This is Scotch brand, and it is, you can see, that is really thin. It's about 1/8 of an inch, so it doesn't really add a lot of bulk, which I love, absolutely love. I'm also going to add some of these pretty foiled leaves. I decided to cut the leaves out of, my initial thought was let's do gold foil around the outside and do a lighter color on the inside, and then as soon as I saw all the prettiness of just doing it in the gold, it's like, no, I don't need to cut out anything more. I am just going to go with this because it is just so lovely. So I'm going to add my little flowers and have the leaf tucked behind, which is kind of why I'm doing 2 at once. There we go. So I've got the leaf down flat on the card, and then I've got my rose a little bit higher, and then I'm going to do 2 more, so I'm doing it as a triple, and I've got it backwards. There we go. I'm doing it as a triple, so 1 large and 2 smaller, and doing the same thing using some of the leaves to go along with the flower. So just adding some liquid glue to the back, and art glitter glue is my go-to. I may try another brand at some point once I run out, but it lasts so long. I think I bought that one a couple of years ago. Okay, so let me go ahead and take the release paper off of my second rose, and I'm going to have them kind of facing in different directions so that they're not all samey. Let's see. I think that's about where I want that leaf, and then have my flower there. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one down at the bottom, and going with one of the larger leaves. So I basically die cut the leaves out 3 times. 3 out of the large and 3 out of the small, so it's not all the same. So I'm going to go with this one down here, coming out from behind that pretty rose. Okay, so that is basically it. On top of that, I do have this little Hugs die cut, and I have to think about how I want to put that one down. Do I want to just put it down here in the white space, up at the top in the white space, or do I want to do something different? So let me go ahead and do the other card, get everything else put together on it while I make up my mind about the sentiment. So I changed my mind. I decided instead of trying to find a way to put this on the front and make it seen, I am going to put it on the inside of my card. So I'm just adding a little bit of liquid glue on the back. And since this is such a fine detail little sentiment, I figure adding a little bit of glue to the back of my hand and dipping it in is probably going to be the easiest and fastest way to do it. So let me add a little bit more because I don't know if I have enough. I'll go ahead and add this on there too. There we go. And then just line that up pretty much straight. And of course, I feel like I need to burnish my cards down just a little bit more so that they close better. I do use heavyweight cardstock, and sometimes you do need to re-burnish them after you've been working on your cards for a bit. So that's going to finish up this project. This is, again, using the amazing paper grease dies from Spellbinders for August 2022, part of the club collection over there. You guys have a wonderful day. Check out this playlist to see some more videos where I'm using Spellbinders products. And remember, if I can make it, you can too. Talk to you later, guys.